See you in hell, Dan.
The internet is dead. Facebook is a graveyard. Twitter's now called something else. Can't remember what the details are. TikTok is a feed of ads. And Instagram is somewhere worse than that. I guess we'll try out Blue Sky and Threads, 'cause the internet is dead. But as long as there's a block button somewhere to press, as long as there's bad posts that need be addressed, as long as there's some segues that haven't been said, we'll be dancing all of the grave of the internet. It's a block party with Stefan and John.
Hello, friends, idiots, and friends who are also idiots. Welcome to your favorite podcast about social media and rejection. It is Block Party. This is episode number 310. I'm John.
I'm Stefan.
And it's a surprise episode, a surprise New Year's Day episode, but we wouldn't leave you hanging here on the Blocked Party main feed. We know that at the end of every year, we have a tradition, and that tradition is the Blocked Party enemies list, and we wouldn't give that up on you. So we are thrilled to be here, and of course, as always for the enemies list episodes, we are joined by producer Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Good morning.
Dan is thrilled to be here.
Well, I mean, I've been dreading this ever since you said we were going to be doing this again.
Why?
So, because you saw what my list was last year.
Yeah.
And you know how I'm doing this year. So,
well, I mean, yes. I mean, we will get to the enemies lists, but yes, I do know that. Well, whatever. We'll discuss when we get there, Dan.
and I thought the show was done.
Well, it is done, but we have to do the enemies list.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I
people-
guess it could have been behind a paywall, but this is a good way to get people. If this is showing up in your feed, hey, we're still doing episodes on Patreon. Go check it out.
Yeah, patreon.com/blockparty. $5 a month gets you 3 bonus episodes every single month. It gets you merch discounts, which we also just released a brand new shirt design by our friend Rory Blank to
still
celebrate the
releasing
end
shirts?
of the show.
Yeah, you saw the shirt. You chose the design.
Oh.
Dan, the show still exists, Dan. Just because it's on Patreon doesn't mean the show doesn't exist anymore.
Well, you know how many people have probably aren't going to be hearing this because they've unsubscribed from this feed?
Well, that's their
That's
fault.
fine. That's their problem.
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
don't want-
post
we don't
on our
want 'em here
socials
anyway.
and stuff, and they'll be like, "Okay, they did an episode. Great, I'll go
We
back
have
and listen
socials?
to it."
Yeah, we have.
Anyway, that shirt is available now on merch.blockedparty.com. Check it out, and of course, if you're a subscriber, you get 10% off of all of our merch. So check it out. It's great. It's a great shirt. I'm gonna get one.
It's an awesome shirt. It looks fantastic.
He crushed it, and
Yeah,
so
I chose
usual.
the design.
Pardon?
I chose the design.
Dan
Well,
did choose
we
the
all work
design
together,
for it.
but yeah, I mean,
Dan doesn't remember choosing the design, but he did, in fact, choose the design. Yes. But yes, we've done some really fun bonus episodes lately. We had our friend Ricky Peacock on for a Canadian education episode about the Trailer Park Boys that people really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Ivan Decker came on as part of a brand new series where we're emptying out the listener block mailbag. We've had Kevin Banner on for one of those and Ivan Decker as well for listener block extravaganza. We still have like 100 listener blocks to get through in the mailbag.
Jesus
So
Christ.
we'll be doing those for a while. And I do believe, and Just Like That is coming out soon, I think.
I think you're right, John.
So so I guess we will.
Are we going to do
also
the full? Are we going to do the
I
full
don't
season this
know.
time?
No,
I
we're
mean,
not. We're not doing that.
Well,
'cause we
Dan, you don't have any control over
We did the
what
first
do.
one and the last one last time,
Yeah.
and it was so confusing. I think we should just do.
But it wasn't that confusing because
No, it
nothing
wasn't.
actually happened.
No, you're right.
the
I think because we looked it up, and yeah, no, you're right.
You could definitely, if you only watch the first and last episode, you could definitely piece it together.
Didn't we predict? We
We did some
stuff
predictions and we ended up
correctly,
being right.
Yeah.
Like we also did that with Canadian OC ripoff / soap opera Whistler.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I would argue that Whistler had a way bigger plot jump. Like when we went from the season premiere
'cause
to the season finale,
it
it
was-
was way more.
Was it
confusing.
season or series?
No, we did. I think we did the season 1 and season 1 finale, and then we did the series finale.
Okay, yeah.
So, but even in that season 1, a Canadian made TV primetime soap opera had a less predictable plot than Sex and the City and Just Like That. So this season is going to suck because Che is not on the show anymore.
I know. So what's the fucking point?
What's the point?
Do they get their own show?
I don't know. I mean,
probably not, right?
No.
Yeah.
How amazing would it be? Because you know how sometimes they, shows will do like a one-off kind of thing based on something that happens on the real show. Like, how amazing would it be if they had done like a side episode that's just Che's comedy concert?
Oh my god!
Like 30 minutes, and it's just it's like you're just watching a comedy special.
I mean, like Netflix should just release, or HBO should just release the full thing. Like just
release the full Che
as if it's like a real thing, right? Like I need to see it. I have to see it.
I agree. Don't you agree, Dan?
No, I fucking hate that shit. So I guess it doesn't matter to me. I don't actually have to watch it for the show.
No, you definitely don't.
You don't. I mean, you have to be there for us recording. Ideally.
I mean, I don't even have to. I mean, physically, yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I would say fairly often you are physically present, but not necessarily mentally present. That's not like a threat or anything. That's just
I wouldn't say that.
Didn't you just say that?
I said I said I could do. I'm here, man. I'm always here.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I know right now you are because you have to be on mic, but I would say like some of the times when we're recording, you're not paying attention to what we're saying.
I mean, it depends on the guest or the podcast, but yeah.
Or the podcast. Yeah, the Jeopardy podcast, you're definitely zoning out.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have to really do anything for that. Like there's no drops or anything that you have to like mark down.
No, I do that all in post. So
yeah. So that's totally fair. But yeah, I would say that I think 2025, Dan, maybe that could be one of your resolutions is just be mentally where you are physically.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, I went to bed at like 6:00 and then you got me recording at 11.
Whose fault is that?
Dan.
Don't act like me setting a recording time of 11 a.m. is a hardship.
It's ridiculous.
It's more for Stefan because Stefan has to do Go Off Kings at night.
Stefan gets up when I'm going to bed.
That's true. I was up at 6 this morning. I like getting up early. I think John's the same way, right?
No,
you sleep in, right?
Yeah. I don't like getting up early.
Yeah, because John stays up late.
I stay up late. I'm a night owl for sure.
Yeah.
I usually go to bed between 1 and 2 a.m. and then I usually wake up at 9 a.m. That's kind of my routine.
Wow.
Oof.
So that's what I like. That works for me.
That's so funny that going to bed at 2 a.m. is like way, way too early for Dan. And then same with getting up at 9 a.m.
Yeah, like neither of those things sounded good to him.
No,
like, wow, you go to bed at 2 a.m., you fucking wuss. You said you're a night owl? What are you?
I was actually thinking that, like, yeah.
I mean, 2 a.m. is a night owl for most people. Come on.
I don't think it is, no.
Well, you don't because you live in a different...
I couldn't do 2 a.m. anymore. Like by 2 a.m., I'm just like, there's so many times I'll be in bed at like 11 and I'm like reading my Kindle and I'll drop my Kindle on my own face because I'm falling asleep while I'm reading. So that's
maybe you should start reading some more entertaining books.
Yeah, dude. I guess maybe that's part of it too. But that's why I've got the analog pocket. If I drop this on my face, it'll hurt because it's a lot heavier than the Kindle.
So you're playing video games before bed now.
Well, I'm playing Pokemon Emerald.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine to do that. It's okay to do that. What did you guys get for Christmas?
Dan, I feel like you got a new hoodie. You were wearing a new hoodie when we recorded the Jeopardy pod.
No, I wasn't.
The Fender Tokyo hoodie, that's not new. Did you get that when you were in Tokyo?
Yes.
Okay, I'd never seen you wear it. So.
Oh, yeah, I got that when I was in Tokyo.
Okay. So, Christmas?
A listener sent me this McDonald's ashtray.
Whoa, okay.
Wow, was it pre-filled?
Yeah.
No, I did this myself.
Okay.
Jammed full of smokes.
Yeah.
Well, is that one of the, like, from when you could smoke in McDonald's? That was
I guess, or it's a recreation.
Cool.
I couldn't really tell if it was...
Right.
But
That's
I don't
sweet.
care.
Do you guys remember that, or are you guys both too young for that?
I remember that. We
I
were
vaguely
actually.
remember that.
I need to send you guys some of this footage once it gets sent to me. But my cousin for Christmas got like 6 hours of family like videos digitized. And like
that's a great move.
it's
to
so-
do
I
with
could have
family.
done that for you.
I know, Dan. I know. It was so awesome because like I've basically never seen this footage. Like I've never seen video of myself as like a 6-year-old or whatever, right? Because it's all pictures. Because it's all on videotapes, right? And the whole thing was like back then you're recording it and you're like, well, we'll watch this later. And I guess it's later.
It's
now.
later
So
now. Yeah.
we were watching it. And well, wait, why did I bring this up? You said something that was like, no, I'm like completely lost now. But you said something that got me thinking.
Yeah,
Oh, we were talking
so-
about smoking and non-smoking.
Oh, well, yeah. So everyone's fucking smoking and holding babies in the.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny. Like just like my little baby cousin is being held, and then her mom is just smoking like a chimney inside.
I always loved the like, and this is no judgment. I've never been pregnant or whatever, but I do love like, okay, pregnancy is a great excuse to quit smoking, right? It's like you
Yeah.
have to have 9 months where you don't smoke.
You're supposed to
So-
not even
Yeah,
eat
you don't.
fish during pregnancy. 'cause
You're
of
already
mercury.
most of the way there with in terms of quitting smoking. So then I love the moms who are like, as soon as the baby's out, they're like, get me
All
a
right,
smoke.
smoking time.
Smoking is back on the menu.
That's totally normal to me. You guys just don't understand.
Well, yeah, I've never smoked and I've never been pregnant, but it just I always would find that funny. It's-
I imagine
get
a cigarette after pushing a baby out would just taste absolutely incredible.
Dan, how did you do the quote of the year on the second last day of the year? That's incredible.
It's Becca and I are rewatching Malcolm in the Middle, and we're on the final season, and there's this great line that reminded me of this, where there's an episode where Dewey takes up smoking,
Yeah.
and it's because he finds Hal's cigarettes hidden all over the house from when Hal was trying to quit and needed
Right.
like secret stashes all over the house. And so he catches Dewey smoking, and then he's saying to Dewey, like, oh, like, you're smoking, like, what the hell? And he's like, I know, I don't even get it. Like, it doesn't taste good. It doesn't make me feel good, but I keep wanting to do it. And Hal's like, well, yeah, all the cigarettes are stale and old. They wouldn't taste nearly as good as a new. Wait, never mind.
Oh man, they're bringing back Malcolm in the Middle. There's no way that's
know.
going to be good.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna
only
suck.
4 episodes though, which gives
Oh.
me faith that it might be good.
Okay, maybe. Yeah,
No.
we'll see. Is it on Netflix though, or it's one of the streaming?
Disney Plus, I believe, because they own
Okay.
the Malcolm in the Middle rights.
Right.
And also,
Yeah.
it seems like Reese and Dewey are not in it.
Oh, interesting.
Or they haven't announced. They've only announced that Bryan Cranston, Jane Kasmerick, and Frankie Muniz are doing it.
Yeah,
But I know the guy who played Dewey basically
he's like
quit.
retired.
Yeah, he
right?
quit
Yeah.
Hollywood and like disappeared from the face of the earth. So he probably will not be in it. Reese also hasn't acted in stuff for a while,
Yeah.
but he has acted in stuff like as an adult. So
Right.
it's possible that he will be in it, but they didn't announce him as part of the reboot. So,
Okay.
but again, I like the idea of 4 episodes. Like that gives me reason to believe it might be okay.
I could. Yeah. That's. I have more faith in that than if they were doing like a full season. But also, no one does like full like 20 episode seasons anymore anyway. So
True. But the other thing too is like, I don't know if you watched the new Party Down season, but I would argue that it's the best season.
I didn't finish it, but I watched a few episodes and it was surprisingly.
It was so
It was good. Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, okay, it is possible to do like a good way in the future season.
Yeah. You're right. So, well, fingers crossed.
I mean, if anyone can do it, it's Bryan Cranston.
That's true. And Jane Kasmerick is so
They're
good.
so
Frankie
good.
Muniz, I have a little bit less faith in.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to do anything.
No, that's true.
And he kind of doesn't do anything in the show either.
No,
Like the show is
he talks
called Malcolm
to
in
the
Middle,
camera, but like that's yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I said this on Blue Sky, but I do think Dewey is genuinely the best child sitcom character ever.
Yeah,
Dewey
you,
is so
you might be right.
fucking
He's
funny in
so
the show.
funny. He's
He
really
is
funny.
so funny.
Yeah, I'm
What
not sure
about
who else it
fucking-
would be.
What about young Sheldon?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a close race
It's-
between
it's a
Randy
tight
from Home
race, yeah.
Improvement, young Sheldon, and Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. Those are kind of the big three.
Yeah,
big three.
those are the top
Yeah.
three for
Yep.
me.
Oh no, sorry. That we got with the Mount Rushmore. Also, the kid from 2.5 Men.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Who like went completely insane.
Did he?
Yeah, he's like super Christian and like
Oh yeah.
Well,
has
what's
like
insane about that, Steph?
Well, I mean, just I feel like maybe I'm wrong. What's his name? It's like Angus something, or is that the name of
Angus. Yeah, it's Angus for sure. I can't remember his last name.
Angus T. Jones?
Angus T. Jones.
That's a sick name.
I
Yeah.
believe his personal
Sounds
life.
like it sounds like he would be the like lead in like a 1950s like proto rock and roll band.
Yeah, Angus Jones and the
Angus T.
whatever.
Jones and the Worms. or
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he went like, yeah, he's in a Seventh-day Adventist church.
Oh yeah.
So I think. Well, but it says here maybe he left I don't know. Anyway, I know he was in some like weird shit. Which,
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't, he's a child actor, so I'm sure he's had a pretty
Yeah.
fucked up childhood.
Can't be
Yeah.
normal.
No.
Can't be normal for sure.
I'll also say, and John, you know this, I got the sous vide. I asked for the sous vide for Christmas.
Oh yes.
It's like, it feels like it shouldn't. It's so easy. It's fucking insane.
So easy.
I made a roast turkey last night, like a turkey breast, and like you just put it in there for 4 hours with
Yep.
like a marinade, and it's like incredible. It's perfectly cooked. It's so
Yep.
stupid, and also it's like it doesn't take up very much space because it's just a thing you put in the stuff that takes up space is is like the vacuum sealer. But even then, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
We're thinking of doing. I had an idea as soon as I got the vacuum sealer, which is vacuum.
Yeah, I'm gonna
seal-
go take a shit. Oh, you guys.
vacuum sealer night on the Go Off Kings, where I vacuum seal stuff like around my room.
Great.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
God. I don't know what's going on over there with you guys, but
Yeah, we're really running out of ideas.
well,
we're doing.
why do you need ideas? You can't just play video games anymore?
No, we want it to be. We want to have like at least one stream a week where there's like a central
Oh,
idea,
a week.
if possible.
Oh
if
man, you
possible.
guys are screwed, dude.
Well, it's basically like the morning streams were fun and everything, but like it's just it's basically just so that we can get better sponsors because we have a much higher CCV with just the evening streams, which is fucking stupid, but it's unfortunately how
I
it
see.
works.
So that's how you sell the ads.
Yeah, so if we're averaging like over 1,000 viewers, we're way more likely to get like better sponsorship deals than if we're averaging
Right.
like 600 viewers, which is like
Because the morning streams are only 300 viewers or
the
whatever.
morning streams were like 400 to 500, which is like good, but it
Yeah.
was enough to bring down that. And then also when you're not streaming in the morning, people are like, "Well, I gotta catch them at night," So
Yep, that's
Smart.
You nailed it. That's
it's
me.
smart. It's kind of the equivalent of us going Patreon only, where we get
Yeah.
more patrons.
Smart.
You know
I-
what? Don't give the people what they want. That's my
And I never have.
that's my.
And I
saying.
never will.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of streaming,
Yes.
my big Christmas gift from my wife Becca was a streaming computer.
I'm so excited for this. I'm so
Yes,
excited
or a
to
gaming computer. I
be
guess
able to raid you after our streams and play some like NHL on there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You know what you need? You need actually, if you're gonna do NHL, you got to get a capture card.
Yeah.
But that's like I can help you with that. That's
Well,
easy.
and I'm not worried about that at the moment.
Okay, well, you should be.
Well, I'm not. Because my main focus is John Purdy, where I write my own Jeopardy boards and have my own Jeopardy games that are live. With comedians, but also some former Jeopardy champions, maybe a combination of the two, like we did on the Blocked Party stream, which was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun
with Juveria and Allison. And so I would say that that's kind of my main focus is I just like, because curling season is so busy, I can't really have like a consistent streaming schedule like you guys do. And I know that's a big factor in success on Twitch is having like a regular streaming schedule. And I just simply won't be able to do that. So my plan is to run like seasons where I do like seasons of John Purdy kind of in the summer when my schedule is a little more chill and I can have a consistent schedule where I would run almost like a season of Jeopardy, like a season of TV.
That's smart.
Where
And
once or twice a week, I'm running.
It's more of an event that way too. So you get more viewers in there. You have more time to prep for it. You can plan guests and stuff in advance. That's smart. That's smart.
And then I would stream just kind of like whenever. I think I told you my idea when I first launched the channel, which I don't know when that will be, soon enough, I guess. But my plan is to do a Tony Hawk marathon as like a subathon to start.
Yeah.
Where I beat Tony Hawk 1+2 with every character in the game, and that's the whole stream, and I don't stop until I'm done.
I love it.
So I think I'm trying to remember how many characters are in it. THPS 1+2 characters. I think there's like 24 maybe. Let's see. Featured skaters. Okay, there's 21 skaters. Yeah, so there's 24 plus you have create a skater. So there's 25. So I'd have to beat both games.
Create a skater is actually technically an infinite amount. So
well, true, but like they have.
You're just gonna do one.
You only have to do one because there's like specific goals that.
Are you gonna create yourself in it?
Yeah. Because I've already done this on PS5. I've already beat it with every skater on PS5. So I will get it again on the PC where it's a completely fresh save. And then I will beat it with every skater. So 25 skaters. It takes me roughly half an hour to beat the game, like a little less, I would say. So it's probably going to be like a 12 to 14 hour stream.
That's pretty good. Yeah. And presumably you'll kind of get better as you get back into it too, right? But
I don't know. Playing it for that long, it might be my brain might go soft. So we'll see. But that, anyway, I'm twitch.tv/Cullen the Comic right now, but I think I will switch. I think I'm going to switch the URL to something. I don't know what, but
yeah,
we'll figure it out. Anyway, So yeah, I got a streaming computer for Christmas. That was my big gift, which was very nice from Becca. But now I also have to use it. So
yeah, which you will.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
In theory, I will use it.
Dan, how was your shit?
It hurt. Why is that funny?
Well, you shit like 3 times in the last 30 minutes since we've been on this call.
Yeah, so. I told you what I had for dinner.
Yeah, I know, Dan. But like you always have bad stuff for dinner. So I don't know how one thing could set off your stomach. Like I think
this time it was because it was right before I went to bed.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You ate an entire. So what did you eat before you went to bed? It was.
I had a big bag of Takis.
Mm-hmm.
And
why'd you look down there? Is the bag still down there?
Yep. It's on the floor.
I got the fucking 7-Eleven bag full of the garbage from my dinner is on the floor. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you ordered dinner from 7-Eleven. You were like, "This is my dinner."
It was like 3 a.m. It was the only thing that was open.
You DoorDash 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was the only thing that was open. What else are you going to DoorDash at 3 a.m.?
Why are you having dinner at 3 a.m.?
Because I'm hungry.
Well, no, that's not the right answer that I'm looking for. No, like most people have dinner between like 6 and 8 p.m. So,
well, that's Dan's breakfast. Or lunch?
I guess this was dinner too. Yeah, I had a dinner. Let me see what time I had that
at. So what, did you have like McDonald's earlier and then you topped it off with some 7-Eleven?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh God. Okay. Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Like Dan, when was the last time you had like a meal that would be considered healthy? Like if you had like
probably Christmas, right? Did you what did you have for Christmas?
We had like turkey and lasagna and ham and
Right. Okay. So like when you have like sort of like a regular, quote unquote regular, like home cooked meal.
I went for Korean barbecue like 2 days ago. That's kind of normal.
That must just destroy your insides though.
Well, yeah, there was like the spicy tofu soup, the name of which I don't want to pronounce, and that really fucked my insides up.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more of the home cooked meal because I feel like if I have a week where I don't eat that well and then I have a salad, then it's like that gets things going.
No, it doesn't really affect me any differently than the other shit I eat.
Right. When was the last time you had a salad though?
With the Korean barbecue.
Oh, okay. Like a little like house salad or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And dinner one was at 6:13 p.m. yesterday.
Okay. So that's kind of right in the wheelhouse of. But that was the first thing you ate.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're waking up like what, 1 or 2 p.m. The first thing you eat is like a Big Mac meal at 6 p.m. And then you're having 7-Eleven at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. Is that a problem?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not. You can do whatever you want. Like,
You
it's
know
not
what?
a problem for me. I think it's just more like a problem for
John, I just came up with a great idea for because we haven't done a Patreon sub goal for a while.
you. No, we haven't.
What if we do one where it's like we live like Dan for a day?
Oh my god.
And not necessarily like you don't have to like smoke a bunch of cigarettes or whatever. Or drink. Like I'm not gonna drink. I'll smoke some weed, but just like get up at like 1 p.m.
But I wouldn't be able to sleep till 1 p.m. Neither would you.
You would have to just lay in bed until 1 p.m. Get up at 1 p.m.
Or you could stay up until 6 a.m.
Yeah,
the previous
it would start.
night.
It would have to start the
organizing-
previous night where you stay up super
I
late.
see. Okay. So
You're-
it starts the previous
You're
night.
DoorDashing McDonald's 3 times in a day.
So it technically starts at midnight.
Yeah, I think so.
So you're
going to be getting really stoned just
No water.
immediately.
Okay, so
no
you're
water,
right.
getting
So we
stoned at
start at
midnight.
midnight. We're awake.
Yeah.
We're ordering something at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're not having any water.
Yeah.
So you're smoking weed.
Yeah.
You're not smoking weed, John?
No. And then
I'll smoke weed. I'm not going to smoke
I haven't
cigarettes.
done
or
weed
drink,
in like a
but-
year and a half.
I haven't
Maybe more.
done weed, he says.
Well, because I don't smoke it. I like it when I was doing it, I was drinking it or whatever.
Yeah.
So what else am I supposed to say? I haven't drank weed in a year and a half. That sounds
I would try and
stupid.
find something better that I haven't done weed, probably.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm 39, so I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
fine.
going to fault you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm middle aged.
It just sounded funny to me, that's all.
I can just say shit like that though now. Like I
Yeah.
can just be like, well, whatever. I'm 40 basically.
Hey, I'm getting there, dude.
Well, not faster than me.
Yeah, you're right. You guys are pretty old, yeah.
Exactly.
damn it.
So
Yeah.
okay, so then we stay up and we go to bed at 6 a.m. We wake up at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
We don't eat and again until 6 p.m. It has to be McDonald's.
And it's coming McDonald's. And you have to DoorDash it.
Right. Oh yeah, of course you have to.
You're
that
not-
goes
you're
without
not
saying.
leaving.
You don't leave the
Oh,
apartment.
I use Uber Eats, but yeah.
well,
Sure. Okay. But
Sure,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is a good idea. We should talk about what.
Well, I don't.
But you
think
also
it's a
have to
good idea.
masturbate like a lot.
Okay. How many times? Yeah, because
I don't want to
That's the
get into
thing.
the numbers here.
no,
but
you do
a
want to
lot.
get into the number. Okay. What did you average this year for jacking off in a day?
Average?
What was your average?
I don't know, probably like 3 or 4.
Holy fuck. That's your average?
Yeah,
What was your peak today? What was your best day?
probably
year, yeah.
like 10 or 12.
10? No. I
Look,
thought we just talked about this on
we
a
did-
bonus episode, but I feel like you didn't.
I don't believe you. I just don't believe you.
10.
Maybe one time, yeah, I probably got up there. The double digits.
Dan,
10.
what?
But like, okay, so what is happening on a day when you're jacking off 10 times? Like, are you waking up and you're like, I'm gonna get to 10 today? Or are you
No.
having like 10 instances of like being horny in a day?
Yeah, that's the
Or is it
latter,
just
yeah.
that you're bored?
Well, that too, yeah. It's
Oh.
bored, and then I'll see a titty online, and I'll be like, "Oh, that looks good."
Oh my god. Okay. So so for basically like a day, I think we would call it a day of Dan, right?
Yeah.
Day of
Yeah.
Dan. And
This is my nightmare.
and then we'd have to record an episode like right afterwards, I guess, right? And
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like
Or
The next
during-
day at about 9 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or we could stream too a little
we
bit.
could
maybe.
stream it, or you're just documenting it on your phone even, and we can have
Yeah.
like the video, and then we're like reacting to the footage and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's a
But yeah, I
it's
think
video
we
of
could
us
stream
jacking
for
off,
part
I
of it
guess.
for like 2 hours or something in the middle
Yeah.
of the day.
You have to have
as you and I
diarrhea.
are both feeling horrible.
You have to have diarrhea.
Well, what
Yeah.
if I just don't?
I think you will, based on
Well, yeah, you're right.
what's happening.
If I stay up that late and then
Yeah.
I wake up and just eat
If
McDonald's,
you have McDonald's
I'll
at
have-
3 in the
I will
morning
have-
and then right away you will
Yeah.
I'll have diarrhea just from McDonald's breakfast. You know?
Yeah,
you're
lately
right.
I'll eat McDonald's, and I won't even be finished the meal before I have to go to the bathroom. Now I don't. Is that normal?
It's not
mean-
usually normal to like shit in the middle of a meal. No.
Oh, yeah. Most meals now, I'll have to get up and have a cigarette and a shit before and then I'll come back and finish it.
Okay. That's okay.
Okay. So a day of
A day of Dan.
This-
the day of Dan. The
I
Black Parade
don't
Day.
I
of
don't
Dan.
like this at all.
I don't like it, but I think it is a good idea.
I love it.
I don't think it's
I think it's a good idea because we could also commission art for it where like the two of us look like Dan and we're like pulling Dan in a sled and he's like whipping us.
I like this more
And we're
and
like
more.
and we look like Dan in the art.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
guess.
the Day of Dan, new Patreon goal. We're gonna figure that out because we haven't done a Patreon goal in so long, right?
No, we
so
haven't.
I think it's time to do one. Start the year
Yeah,
with a
now that the
Patreon
show's
goal.
done, it's time to do a Patreon
No,
goal.
The show isn't done.
the show's not done. We're on Patreon, so it's
And also, stay subscribed to the main feed because, as I've said before, we will be dropping some bonus episodes for free throughout the
That's
course
right.
of the year.
That's right.
So,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
don't pay for the Patreon because John's just gonna give them away for
No,
free
that's
eventually.
not what I'm saying at all.
No.
They'll be like 6 months old, and they will be previous bonus episodes, and it won't be that many times. So, but yeah, I mean, I would say we'd have to get 100 more patrons from
Okay.
where we're at right now.
If we can get 100 more patrons,
Yeah.
we will do the Day of Dan.
The Day of Dan.
I'm just gonna pay for Irene to go to a hotel that night.
I think that's
Maybe I'll come and take her place.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, actually, Dan being there for it, for me at least,
It's
a
like
part of it as like
coaching
a
you
ref, as like a coach is really good.
Yeah.
Because you have your camera too, so you could actually film. Okay, this is
I'm
good.
just imagining Dan like blowing a whistle and screaming at you because you were about to have a glass of water. You're like 12 hours through the day, you're super parched. Dan just catches you trying to go to the fridge.
He's like
Yeah.
bag skating me, but for jacking off. Collapse in the
Stefan,
corner
did
like
you
only
not
you
just
Levy.
see that big-breasted woman on your Instagram? That means it's time to jack off.
That's but basically what my inner monologue sounds like. Yeah. Except it calls me Daniel, not Stefan.
Oh, your inner monologue calls you Daniel and not Dan.
I just said Dan because I don't know. It doesn't matter. What it
No,
calls me.
that's something worth unpacking there. I think if we were like therapizing you, we would be like, oh, so your inner monologue calls you Daniel.
Intriguing.
Very intriguing.
You're the only people who call me Dan.
Or like your family calls you Daniel.
Well, my family calls me a few other things that I don't want to get into, but
Well, okay, but you say that like who calls you Daniel?
my mother.
Okay, that's your family.
Yeah, that's basically
Okay.
just my mother.
Okay. Well, you kind of made it sound like all your friends call it, because I have the thing where my dad's name is also John. So if someone met me like around my family, like when I was growing up on my street or whatever, where there's a lot of kids, stuff, I was known as Johnny because that's what my family calls me. But then if you met me at school or through hockey, I was just John. So I didn't know if it was a like your friends from a certain era call you Daniel, but we call you Dan.
No, I think most people call me Dan now. I was just trying to give you shit.
Well, that's fair. You can give me shit if you want to. I don't care. So that's fine. That's fine to me. Okay, well, it is the enemies list episode, as most of you are probably familiar with. We do both have enemies for 2025. This is for the year upcoming, where we say these are our enemies. It's who we're going to be focusing a lot of our hate on in 2025. But we also look back on the year that was. At the end of 2023, of course, we did our 2024 enemies list. And so we like to review. We like to go back and say, you know, hey, did we hate them enough in 2024? Did we give them some shit? How did it go overall? So we will review our 2024 enemies list, starting with Dan. And Dan,
Can we start with someone else?
No. And Dan, your 2024 number 5 enemy was beer.
Oh yeah.
Who won between you and beer this year?
I think I would say I won. I mean, I'm still drinking beer, but I'm not drinking like a whole case of it in my apartment alone every night. So
that's good.
Okay, that's good.
a plus.
That is good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
pretty.
definitely
Yeah,
a plus.
when I get drunk now, it's usually when I'm out.
Okay,
You
that's
know,
fine.
I mean,
That's normal.
and I'm not doing that too often. Like I think you guys saw how I got after the live shows. That was probably the drunkest I've ever been in my life. So. Well, it's top 3 for sure.
And it's funny that I've been present for 2 of those times.
Oh, I was the one at your wedding. That wasn't me. That doesn't count.
Well,
That was because I didn't eat. That wasn't my fault.
well, but then when you did have the opportunity to eat and your dinner was in front of you, you fell asleep. So
Yeah, because I was already gone.
okay, but I'm just saying That has to be.
Look, it's your fault for having the dinner. So there was like 3 hours between the.
And are you familiar with how weddings work? That's every wedding.
I guess the weddings I go to are just, it's more about
every wedding has a gap between the ceremony and the reception.
Yeah, not 3 hours.
It wasn't 3 hours.
It was like 1 hour.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half.
Okay, well, maybe I drank a little too much for an hour and a half.
Well, we had, I believe it was, the ceremony was at 3, and then so that took like half an hour, and then there was a cocktail hour at 5, and then dinner started at 6.
And we walked. And
like cocktail hour had food, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and we walked like 1 block to a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, what did we do at that restaurant?
Well, I had oysters and like a beer.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, that was part of it too, is we know that is annoying. Like, obviously when you go to a wedding and then you just have to wait around, that's annoying. But we also got married at a hotel right in downtown Vancouver. So we were like, well,
lots of options.
Yeah, it's not like, sometimes you go to a wedding that's like out at like a rustic barn, and then they take like an hour and a half or 2 hours to take photos, and you're just literally like standing in a field. We're like, well, this is downtown Vancouver. They could find, they could go grab a snack, go grab a drink, like whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So,
yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, John. It was entirely my fault. I'm sorry for blaming you.
Well, yeah, I know it was your fault, Dan. I was never for 1 second thinking any of it was my fault.
Well, I know, but it sounds like you're getting very defensive, and I don't think that you're right. I'm sorry. It's not your wedding's fault.
Okay, thank you, Dan. I'm glad you are winning the war against beer currently. Okay, Stefan, your number 5 in 2024 was Upper Deck.
Yeah, I mean they're still fucking up. The prices have gone down a little bit on cards and stuff, and I'm just buying single cards now. So I think I won. Well, I'd say it's a stalemate because no, you know what? I think I won because I'm not buying directly from them anymore. I'm buying like single cards off eBay for way cheaper than buying an entire fucking box. The box prices are out of control. They're a little better now, but fuck Upper Deck. Fuck all the card companies, but Upper Deck especially is awful. And they would still be on my enemies list, but there's some pretty bad stuff on there this year. So, I'll say it's a stalemate between the two of us.
Okay. My number 5 enemy was Body Energy Club, and I don't even remember why, because I like Body Energy Club. So there must have been something specific that they did to upset me right before the enemies. Oh no, wasn't it that I was mad they haven't expanded to Calgary?
I think that's what it was. And have they expanded to Calgary?
No. So fuck Body Energy Club. Suck my dick. That sucks. I want you in Calgary. Like, honestly, Calgary does not have a good smoothie place. We have a couple Oak Berries, which are like fine. They're more like
Berry. What is that? Some Redwall shit?
I don't even know what that means. But what's Redwall?
What is Redwall?
I don't know.
You never read Redwall?
No. It's a book?
Okay. I Am That Is. You don't know Redwall?
What?
Whatever, man. Doesn't matter.
It's a book?
It's a series of books.
No. You're acting like I'm crazy for not having read.
It's about like medieval forest animals.
And I'm the loser for not having read.
Redwall is fucking cool. All the bad guys are like stoats and stuff.
It's not cool.
It's cool.
A series of children's fantasy novels by British writer Brian Jacques, published from 1986 to 2011.
Yep.
Characters: Slagar, Sunflash the Mace, Bodrag the Tyrant.
Yeah, those are some bad guys. Some bad dudes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, no, I don't get your Redwall reference. But there is no goods. Oakberry is like an acai bowl place.
Okay.
And not great. But it's okay. But it's not great. So Body Energy Club would kill here. There's not a great smoothie place here. I would open it, but I'm too busy. So someone else needs to do it because it's getting a little bit ridiculous that I don't have a good smoothie place here in Calgary. Okay, Dan, your number 4 enemy from 2024.
Speak of the devil.
As you currently smoke it, what is marijuana?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys friends again, or what's going on there?
I mean, I'm not. Again, it's with similar to the beer, where I'm no longer sitting in my apartment smoking dabs all fucking day. I only smoke flower now, all fucking day.
That is true.
Yeah,
you definitely I haven't seen you do a dab in forever.
No, I don't remember the last time I did a dab, and if I did, it would probably kill me now. But I'm sure I'll do one again soon.
Well, no, Dan, that's not the. Are you not trying to stay enemies with marijuana?
No, I'm trying to stay friends with my brain now. So
fair enough. Yeah.
No, that's important. You definitely want to be friends with your brain.
Yeah, like I mean, you guys would know better than I would. Like when I was smoking dabs, I was noticeably slower and dumber, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say it like that.
Well, I mean, people have told, like, again, I'm not a weed guy, okay? Like, I don't know this stuff, but I have heard from people that, like, the amount that, like, one dab, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I did one dab once and I thought I was going to die.
Fucking destroyed.
And I could never do it again. And I was like, well, we would sometimes record one episode of this show and Dan would have dabbed like 3 or 4 times during the one episode. So I don't think it's like out of the realm to say that, yes, it did make you a little dumber and slower.
Oh, okay. Well, it was just more the tone that you said it with.
I'm glad you're not dabbing anymore.
I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. You know, Dan, this is the only dab I want to see you doing. This one.
I was gonna make that same joke.
Well, you can do one now because Dan just did one.
Yeah, we all.
Oh, did you hit the dab in your classes ever?
Oh yeah, they loved it.
Yeah, that seems like a cheat code for just making the kids go completely nuts.
Well, because the thing is, it's like with anything like that, it's like the smallest of windows where they think you don't know it. So with any kind of like cultural thing like that, it's like you teach, and I was also young enough that like I was aware of things like that. So, but they think you don't know because you're an adult. So then they would be like, you'd hear them say dab or like, Mr. Cullen, do a dab. And they think you're not going to know what it is. So then when you know what it is, then they're like, oh, fuck, Mr. Cullen dab. Like, holy shit. But then like literally within 3 days, if you dabbed, they'd be like, Mr. Cullen's a fucking loser, man. He dabbed in class. Like,
I'm sure it didn't take him 3 days to say that.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. You have a very limited window to be cool with something that is like a cool trend, or I guess, or whatever. So yeah.
Hey, Stefan, are you gonna hit a dab on Day of the Dan or whatever the fuck you're calling it?
No, I'll just smoke. I'll just smoke like a little like vape pen or something. I know it's not necessarily in the spirit.
At least a joint.
Maybe some edibles.
No, definitely. If you do edibles, you got to do at least like 400 milligrams.
Holy fuck! My God. Okay, we have to lay some ground rules out for this, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Stefan, your number 4 enemy from 2024 is BC Airbnb hotels.
We fucking won that one. I'll tell you right now, because those are fucking done. I mean, I'm sure there's still some around, but they're illegal now, essentially. So, and I was worried there for a second with the provincial election that they wouldn't be, because obviously if the Conservatives won, that was getting overturned like day one
immediately.
But I mean, I'm specifically thinking of there was one place in like Yaletown, I think, where basically it was like 75% Airbnbs, and all the people who lived there who actually lived there were constantly getting their shit stolen, and like just parties were happening all the time, and it was like a total nightmare. And now whoever had that, I mean, they're not totally fucked because they just had to sell the places probably, but like yeah. So I feel like the rare enemy on our enemies list where the enemy lost.
Well, speaking of, my number 4 enemy from 2024 was Mayim Bialik, and she got fired. She gone. She gone. So yeah, fuck you. You sucked at hosting Jeopardy. You're not a good person. Get off my TV. And I am also conveniently ignoring the fact that you may have been fired for your views about the writer's strike in the union.
But yeah, so sort of like
conveniently ignoring that and just
getting the right answer, but not showing your work, kind of thing, right?
That's right. That's right. I don't need to look at the work. I just need to see the result. And Mayim Bialik gone. All right, Dan, your number 3 enemy for 2024 was Xanax.
Yeah, I won that one. I haven't talked about shit. I have no
idea. Dude, that's what we're talking about, bro.
I think.
Nice job.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Zannies, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't even do
Good
any
job.
with Brian when he was here?
No, I did try to get some for him, but I was unsuccessful.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I can't.
So-
Yeah, no, none of my hookups will talk to me anymore. So.
Why?
That's
'Cause you
good though. That's
don't-
good.
Because you don't utilize them?
No, I think they might have just got new numbers. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So if you got their number, they would talk to you.
probably, yeah, but I'm
All
not
right.
gonna.
Yeah. No, fair enough. That's Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's 3 defeats in a row.
yeah,
I
this
know.
is
I'm,
really
I'm
good.
doing
That's
pretty good, but
That's really good.
trying to remember what my first 2 were. I don't.
Well, Stefan, your number 3, the concept of draft lotteries.
Well, draft lotteries are still fucking me over to the point where I rebranded my keeper league team to be called the Lotto Losers. But
Yeah,
I'm very happy with the rebrand and the logo looks great and everything.
It's great. Yeah, so for the listeners, you obviously know we're in a fantasy hockey pool together, but we do, like the NBA and the NHL, we do a draft lottery every year. And Stefan has finished last in the league every year that you've been in the league, or no? There was one year that Solos finished below you, right?
Well, no, like my first year, I had like 7 wins or something.
Right, because you still had some decent pieces.
And then I think my second year, I was like third last or second last or something. And then since then, it's been, 1 win season. This year, 2 wins.
Yeah.
So already a much better year.
Well, and my team is just sucking shit. So
I think I'm most likely still going to come last unless something crazy happens. But yeah, I'm happy to come last. I don't want to win the draft lottery this year because there's not really a clear-cut number 1 pick as of yet. And
so this will be
I'd much rather save it for either the Gavin McKenna year or the DuPont year. But
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky and go. It would be the most unlucky thing ever to change my name to the Lotto Losers and then immediately win a draft lottery that you don't want to win. So
yeah, no,
we'll
don't
see.
worry. I always win the ones that people don't want to win. So I will probably win this one as well and save you from that. My number 3 enemy of 2024 was the moving company. Obviously, Becca and I moved to Calgary. Overall, they did an okay job, but they did fuck up some of our shit. I'm not going to have to move for the foreseeable future. So this wasn't really like a win-loss scenario.
Another stalemate, I think. Although maybe you won because did you name them on the show?
I don't remember. Probably.
Yeah. So maybe that lost them some business potentially.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know what? I hope so.
Yeah.
So Dan, your number 2 from the 2024 enemies list is I'm noticing a theme here. This is cocaine.
Really? I put that on there?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
My family listens to this show.
I'm not. You put it on the list.
Yeah, you said it was you said it was your enemy. You didn't say it was your friends. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I haven't touched that either since then.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's good. That's very good.
Maybe one time. I think I did it one time.
Okay. Well, I
don't remember.
Okay.
Someone's gonna text me and be like, "Yeah, we did it on this day. You're alive." But
yeah, your friends are keeping tabs on specific July 8th. I remember. Well, that's good, Dan. If it was only once or less, that's positive.
I believe it was only once.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So this is going better than I thought because you were all like, I don't want to go over last year's enemies list and blah, blah, blah. And I thought you were going to make it. I thought this was going to be worse. But
yeah, well, 2023 for me was probably the worst year of my life as far as abusing drugs and alcohol goes.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, it's good of you to recognize that. And you've made successful enemies out of some of these things. So I think that's good. That's positive, Dan.
Yeah,
that's right,
Dan. Good job.
Stefan, your number 2 enemy from 2024, Galen Weston Jr.
What a piece of shit that guy is.
Yeah, what a absolute hump.
Now, unfortunately, I feel like prices have not really gone down.
No.
But I will say in general, I think more people hate him and know who he is.
Oh, definitely.
So that's a positive at least. And
did you see the video of the CEO of Loblaws getting accosted or whatever?
No. Getting accosted, but not like accosted in like Luigi way, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, but no. And his name is Per Bank, which is insane. Okay. He's like a Swedish guy, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, PER and then Bank, BANK.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was just like this guy went up to him in a parking lot and kind of pretended like it was really funny because I think CEOs well, we know this, right? Like they have this vision that they are like beloved figures that everybody's like, oh, you guys are so cool.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's like filming and he's like, hey, are you Pear Bank? And he immediately comes over to the guy with like a smile on his face and like shakes his hand. Like the first thing he thinks in his mind is, this guy is my fan.
Oh,
like the CEO of Loblaws. This guy loves me. This guy subscribes to Business Insider and whatever. So he comes over, smile on his face, shakes the guy's hand. He's like, yes, I am Pear. Like, nice to meet you or whatever. And he's like, yeah, nice to meet you too. So you kind of said that you were going to lower grocery prices and blah, blah. And like just immediately like goes on the offensive against him. And he was like, just gets all huffy and like walks away to his car. And then as he's like getting into his car, he yells back like, we're doing what we can. And the guy's like, no, you're not.
You're not. No, you're not.
You.
Those guys are all,
because he got a huge bonus or something too.
Course,
so the guy was like, I'm not going to discuss my bonus with you. And he's like, well, it's ridiculous that you got this massive bonus. Like, anyway. Yeah.
Well, he's still on the list for sure. And all those guys are. So
yeah, pieces of shit. My number 2 enemy was the NHL.
Yeah.
Best sport, worst league. They continue to be the worst league. They suck. The Department of Player Safety is a total joke and a misnomer because I don't think they have any interest in the player safety whatsoever. Gary Bettman is a worm and sucks. They have no idea how to promote or run their league. Bad. It sucks.
Yeah. NHL is still bad.
Yeah, still bad. Okay, Dan, your number 1 from 2024 was a combination cops/pedophiles.
No, I'm unfortunately I think I lost that one. I mean, you saw who got elected.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that's true.
The pedophiles won, man.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Unfortunately, and speaking of pedophiles, John and I have the same number 1.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Yeah. Oh my God. Who again, unfortunately, although as of late has been like really losing it. Which is awesome. Nice to see.
It's fun. Yeah.
It does feel like something good could happen at some point. He could do something crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does sort of.
I know what you
like
mean,
that.
Stefan.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill himself.
I mean, that would be. It would be awful. I really hope that doesn't happen. How could you say such a thing, Dan? I would hate if that happened.
Me as well.
You're gonna kill yourself?
No. I would hate if that happened.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Things are good. But yeah, it has been very funny. Like, it's so funny that he's had so many different moments of realization that people don't like him.
Yeah.
Like it's somehow like never clues all the way in.
It's so good, man.
And so then it's like a month later, he'll have a new realization. Oh, wait, everybody doesn't love me? This is so weird. It's like, what the fuck?
I love it, man. He's such a fucking worm. God, I fucking hate it. I hate him more than I've ever hated anyone in my entire life. Like
anyone that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some people I know that I
don't know, man. I think he's number 1 for me. Like I detest him so much. Anyway.
All right. Well, without further ado, it is time for our 2025 enemies list. This is where we are directing all of our hatred in the year 2025. And Dan, we'll start with you. Who is your number 5 enemy of 2025?
My family.
What?
Yeah,
you said they listen to this.
Yeah, some of them do, and they're the ones who I'm talking about. Actually,
okay,
yeah, they know who they are. They know what they did. I don't need to say any more than that.
Okay,
and I don't want you to be honest.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, I would prefer not to expose my family on here.
Well, but then you could have just not said it at all. But okay,
sorry, just being honest.
Hey, no, I mean, I get, fair enough.
Yeah.
What can we say? All right, Stefan, you're number 5.
Number 5, this guy I don't consider to be a human being, Peter Thiel.
Ah, yes.
Obviously, like, horrible piece of shit, one of the most evil people to ever live. But specifically, he's on here this year because every time I see him, it makes me like physically uncomfortable. I recoil when I look at him. He doesn't know how to talk. He's just, I don't know. I mean, I think looking at him, it's like he looks and acts how he deserves to look and act, which is like just this inhuman alien. Like he talks like fucking what's his name in Men in Black, the sugar water guy, Vincent D'Onofrio. He has that sort of vibe to him, and that's what he deserves. I mean, he deserves a lot worse than that. But just a horrible man. If you can call him, I don't consider him to be human. Like I said, and he's number 5 on my list. Peter Thiel.
Love it. Okay, number 5 for me, picking up where the NHL left off, specifically my fantasy hockey team. They are underperforming this year. I think I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, this might be the year that I finally break through and sneak into the playoffs. Didn't think I would contend.
I thought you would too. I thought you would have a good year.
Didn't think I would contend for a championship, but did think that, maybe this would be the year I snuck into the playoffs, started to build a legacy, but my guys instead have pulled down their pants and taken a giant shit on the potential legacy of my team. Just a pathetic bunch of losers, all of which are underperforming, except for Zach Werenski and Philip Gustafson. You are exempt from this. Everyone else on my team, however, in the dumps. You are horrible. You have upset me, and I'm going to miss the playoffs again, and I'm unhappy. So yes, my entire fantasy hockey team, you are my enemy for 2025.
I think you'll have a good year next year. I thought you were going to be good this year, but our league is so weird.
It is very weird, but I feel like I've been their friend, so now it's time to try to be their enemy.
Yeah, I think
like when a team hires like a hard ass as a coach,
yeah, I think you got to try something a bit different. For me, it's like I'm still in the situation where I don't care about winning right now.
Yeah.
And so it's like the only thing I'm mad about is like the draft lottery, which is nice. But yeah, you're in a situation where like your team should, like I thought they would be good this year.
We're in hell.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, you're number 4.
Number 4 is the website kick.com.
Nice.
Yeah, John, are you familiar with this website?
Sort of. It's like a messaging website, right?
No, that's the old Kick. Stefan, tell them about the new Kick.
The new Kick, you're thinking of Kick KIK, I think.
Oh, this is KICK?
It's basically if Twitch was for specifically crypto scammers and pedophiles.
Yes. Who's the guy that Aiden Ross?
Aiden Ross.
Yeah, he's on there.
Yeah, see now it's on my list specifically because of their treatment of Aiden Ross. Yeah.
Aiden Ross, one of the worst people to ever do it.
Oh, well, no. I think he's pretty cool.
You like Aiden Ross? That's your thing?
Hey, you didn't know that?
I thought it was ironic.
No, I didn't know that.
Sorry, Stefan?
I thought it was ironic.
What's ironic?
Your love of Aiden Ross.
What would be ironic about that?
Well, anyway, okay, so Kick is on
your list. So how has
list.
Kick treated him that you don't like?
Well, they've destroyed his love of the game.
What are you talking about, Dan?
He hasn't streamed in like 2.5 months. It's really bad.
Okay, so I think Kick is actually doing good here then.
Yeah, it seems like Kick's we've actually already beat your enemy.
And they've also just wasted so many hours of my life this year with all the great content they put on the website. And I want it back.
Oh boy.
So
that's cool. Does Kick have like a resident like hot woman grifter?
There are several, yeah.
Okay.
Amaranth is on there.
Oh,
yeah.
You would know
she got
her,
off
John.
of Twitch?
I think she's
still on Twitch because Twitch is now you can stream on other like competitors and they're like whatever. They don't care anymore.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I figured that there had to be some sort of like grifter adjacent.
It's pretty much all grifter hot women on there. That's another reason I like the website, actually.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, good for you, Dan. I like you're taking a stand, and I appreciate that. Stefan, you're number 4.
Well, so mine, kind of similar to Dan's, DJ Dan Clancy, the current CEO of Twitch, who I think is doing a really bad job.
There's a bunch of anti-Semitism on his platform. I've heard.
Okay, there was an article going around. It was like a long form piece about how he sort of like worked as CEO, and it's a lot of Twitch employees being like, yeah, he just kind of like drives around the country going on like popular streams and like hanging out and like doesn't actually do any work. And his big idea was a feature called it's called like you can like knock on, it's like co-streaming. I forget exactly what it's called, but you can knock on another streamer if they're live if you want to like stream with them, and you have to like actively opt out of it every single time you go live. Otherwise, people can just knock and like ask to stream with you. And it's a feature that no one wanted, no one asked for, and it's like his big thing. They keep laying people off. They're laying off a lot of good employees. I don't trust him to like. He just loves to like. He just likes to party, basically, which, you know, who doesn't? But also, he goes by DJ Dan Clancy. And it's not because he's a DJ. It's because his middle name is Joseph. So his name is Dan Joseph Clancy. So that's why
So then why isn't he just DJ Clancy?
I don't know. I think he does go by DJ Clancy. But his whole vibe is just off. It sucks. He looks like Dwayne also.
Yeah, he's a huge loser. He's much less cool than the Kick.com CEO. Eddie.
Well, anyway, but Dan Clancy, you're on my list. All
Damn.
right. Yeah.
Pick it up, Dan.
Yeah. And if you're gonna become a streamer, John, you gotta get to know this guy because he sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
John, have you thought about using Kick.com to stream instead of Twitch?
I mean, you're making a good case, Dan, for sure. I'm just gonna follow the money, you know. Wherever the deal is best, you'll find me there.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 4. And you know what? I think this is an enemy of a lot of us, but it's really come to the forefront lately. I'm going with your classic bad drivers.
Okay.
Bad drivers on my
Does Calgary have a lot of bad drivers?
Oh, the driving here is atrocious.
I thought, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Atrocious driving.
Huh.
And I would say Calgary's big feature of their bad drivers, people don't know what lane they're in ever. They love to be in 2 lanes at once and almost hit you. Also, nearly got in an accident 2 weeks ago when someone just completely ran a red light and almost T-boned me, which would have been awesome. So yeah, just really not a fan of the drivers in Calgary, but also just in general. When I'm back in Vancouver too, lots of really awful drivers. So I'm going bad drivers across the board.
Have you had bad drivers on your list before at some point?
No, I looked and I haven't actually.
Wow.
So, but they're back on. They're back on. They're on this time, and they're toast. Dan, you're number 3.
My number 3, my coworkers. Not all of them. All of them. Some of them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and the reason for that is
it's like 4 people.
Yeah, well, some of them just want to work way too early for me. I think we've touched on this a little bit earlier, actually, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think sometimes they expect a little much of me in regards to the early call time.
11 a.m. is a very reasonable time.
Yeah.
For what?
For
anything.
Work
at 8 in the morning. My wife starts work at 8.
Yeah, what does your wife do?
She works in healthcare.
Exactly. I don't work in healthcare.
Okay, so what's your point? We're giving you a 3-hour cushion over healthcare. That's not good enough for you?
No, I guess that's pretty
11 a.m. is like barely the morning. It's about as close to the afternoon as you can get while still being the morning.
It's so close to the afternoon, Stefan. If someone wishes you a good morning at 11, you're inclined to check your watch to be like, is it even morning still?
I would say good day at this point.
To me, morning is until like 3 p.m.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's the you problem.
Yeah,
and not an Earth problem.
I'm aware of that.
All right. Well,
that's fine. If you know what, I mean, it is fair to. It is. I mean, I guess you did say coworkers. You didn't say boss. So that sort of implies that it's a little bit more of a Stefan and DB problem and not a John and Jesse problem. So that's kind of
DB is really the one getting up early to work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Stefan, you're number 3.
It's like AI guys. Like I think, you know, using AI to make a picture of Yoda sucking his own dick, whatever. But the guys who like are like, they'll post oh, I used AI to make a movie, like this movie trailer, and it's so incredible and moving. And it's like, I don't, again, similar to Peter Thiel, I don't consider you to be a human because you don't know how to react to things. You don't have emotions. You don't know how to see something like real and have feelings from it. You're just watching stuff that sort of looks like the stuff you know is good. And you think it's good because you're fucking stupid. And I'm tired of just hearing from them. And I'm pissed off that basically everything is kind of going their way and it sucks. And I hope really bad stuff happens to all of them.
Like what?
I mean, I hope the AI bubble bursts, but I hope
they get kicked in the shin or whatever.
Yeah, or other. It's.
I mean, that hurts.
It does hurt a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. Yeah.
You get booted in the shin and they get you like right on the bone.
Yeah.
That does fucking hurts, dude.
It does hurt. You're right.
So I get all that. All that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 3, and here's the thing. I think that so I've talked about this a little bit before, but I have 2 nephews, and my sister doesn't let me post photos of them on social media, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But I think because when they were born, I did post photos of like, whoa, look at my nephews, but then I haven't posted them since.
Sure.
So I feel like I wonder if people are ever like looking at my social media being like, what happened to this guy? Like, does he just not care about being an uncle, or like what's going on? But that could not be further from the truth. Me and my nephews, they're now of an age, they're like lots of fun. And, I was just there for Christmas, spent a bunch of time with them, played some hockey, exchanged gifts, whatever. I'm very close with my nephews. And so I think it's important to just get it out there. The enemies of my nephews are also the enemies of me.
Okay. Who are the enemies of your nephews?
Well, I assume they're a bunch of like kids under the age of 10.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's fine. If you piss them off,
sure,
it's on site.
Yeah, you can really do some damage too.
Oh, I can beat up.
God, yeah.
I could beat up like a 9-year-old.
No question.
Like almost no problem at all.
Yeah.
So, So I just think it's important to get it out there. If you are an enemy of my nephew, you are an enemy of me. And I don't know who they are. And honestly, given their ages, they probably have a new enemy every day.
Yeah.
Or every week kind of thing. You know what it was like when we were kids, but that's fine. I'm ready to go whenever, wherever.
All right.
So that's my number 3. Dan, your number 2.
Okay. My number 2 is the Intel Corporation.
Oh, tough year for Intel.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, John, I don't know if I'm pretty sure when I recommended a computer to Becca to get for you, I do believe I told her to get one that didn't have the faulty CPU that I bought.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, we'll check.
We'll find out.
I'm pretty sure I helped you dodge that bullet. But yeah,
I believe it has the
nightmare.
Intel i5.
But okay, yeah, you're fine then.
Okay.
But it was a terrible year for me. I bought a bad CPU, and my computer has been causing me problems ever since. But actually, I shouldn't say that, because I did recently realize that when I built it, I overclocked it, and then forgot about that. So then I reset everything back to the default settings, and it hasn't been crashing anymore. So I think the problem might have been me, but Intel still can suck my dick.
Well, at the same time, though, should it not be able to accommodate a little bit more juice?
Yeah. Good point.
It's a delicate balance, and I'm not very good at overclocking, so I may have fucked it up too. So
whatever. But I'm blaming Intel, and I'm not blaming
they sucked.
you.
I will say their new graphics cards seem very nice, so I'll give them that. But everything else, they shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Ruined my year.
Love it. Stefan, you're number 2.
This is a prediction.
Okay.
Because they're not, well, they kind of are on it. The balance team over at the Bazaar, which is a game that has taken over my life. I mean, you know how much I love Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I have not touched it since the Bazaar came out.
Wow.
Just haven't opened. The Bazaar is so much better.
John, this game looks so fucking ridiculous. You would not believe it.
I've seen people, there's a lot of people in our friend Josh Custodio, his Wrestling Brain Discord, as well as our own Discord, people have been playing the game. So I've seen the screenshots. I am somewhat familiar with what's going on there.
It's so much fun. To me, it's like Slay the Spire meets like Battlegrounds. I would say like it's an auto battler, but it is kind of like Slay the Spire in that there's no like time limit, which is really nice. With Battlegrounds, it's like you're in a game with 7 other people and there's a time limit. And this one, it's like you can just come and go. You play your ranked match for the day or whatever.
So you're always playing online? You're not playing the computer?
So you're playing like other players like ghosts, basically.
I see.
At the end of every day in the game. And then you're playing the computer and stuff as well. And then you're going into shops and buying stuff, and there's like events, and it's so much fun. I think you'll like it, John. I'm going to gift it to you once you get your computer set up.
Thank you.
Because I think you love Slay the Spire, right?
I do.
You will like this. I think you will really enjoy this. But I don't blame them. It's the holidays. It's in open beta right now, but they like went home. They like stopped working from like December 20th to like January 6th. They haven't started working yet, and they left it in a state where the meta is so fucked. You're gonna learn about the monitor lizard, John.
Well, yeah, isn't there? I have actually seen people complain. Like, isn't there like one build that's just like it's too good?
There's ways to play around it, but it's more that the build is just everywhere and it's so easy to get going. And it's called the monitor lizard build. And what it is that you're playing this robot character called Dooley, and it's so easy for him to get this one item, which is called the monitor lizard, and it's this little robotic lizard. And every time you haste an item, which is that you speed up its cooldown.
Everybody has turned this episode.
No. This is for John. It will poison a certain amount, and you can like up the poison on it. And there's items that will increase poison throughout the match, and it'll just get to and there's no counter for poison right now is the problem. And so it's just like, and I know it's the open beta, and so balance isn't a huge concern, and it's the holidays and
stuff.
Who
got him going on this?
And they're going to nerf it into the ground come January, but I'm just a little worried about how it's going to go once the game is out and it's free to play and they have other heroes in there. And I'm hoping that they're quick to nerf things or buff things as needed, but I'm a little worried. So I'm putting them on there, and it's more just like, hey guys, you're on the list.
On notice.
I'm putting you guys on notice. You're on the list.
Yeah.
If things don't go well, I mean, it's a tough game to balance. There's a lot going on in it. I get that, but you got to be on your toes here. So you guys are on notice. You're number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
I think, but by the end of the year, I want to be able to say, hey, you guys did a great job. You're not on the list next year, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I understood about 5% of that, but
you'll get 100% of it soon enough, because the game will take over your life. I promise you.
All right. Well, I don't know if I need that, but anyway, great. The balance team at the Bazaar, you're number 2. My number 2, and I think our fans have gotten a little bit, our listeners have gotten a little bit of a taste of this, but my number 2 is curling fans on Facebook.
Okay.
They hate me and they hate everything. It's all old people. Obviously, that's who uses Facebook.
Yeah.
And so I have a curling podcast, and clips of that podcast will get posted to the Grand Slam of Curling Facebook page. And just some of the shit that they say on there about me is so crazy. And just like in general, though, like it makes no sense. So we had a curler on our last episode, and he had just broken up with a team. So so in curling, there's no general managers, there's no owners. Like when you're making decisions about your team, it's all internal. It's all like curler to curler. And so when a team breakup happens, especially in the middle of the season, that's a big deal. So this guy had left his team that he was on. We have him on the show to discuss that. And the first and highest rated comment on the Facebook post about this is, why are you people? So that's why are you people? So saying that to me in a way that's offensive.
Yeah.
Interviewing so hard to get some bad remarks. What? And then someone replied, great question. Some individuals are hoping to get some dirt to stir the pot, but it's time to let it go and accept that all 4 gentlemen made a decision to move on. No animosity, no scandal. End of story. Yeah. Guess what? I'm a fucking journalist. It's my job to ask the questions. Are you fucking stupid? What is going on? Like, this is the world they live in. They just think everybody should, and we weren't even pressing him that hard. We just asked him a basic question like, oh, you and your team broke up. What happened there? And they're like, look at these people digging for dirt. How dare they?
Psychotic.
Like, do you understand how the world works? Like,
I mean, Facebook in general is just
of course. And it's such a dumb thing for me to get mad at, because yes, obviously they're like old people with no brain that are on Facebook all the time, but it's just like, come the fuck on, dude. It just is like, it's so crazy. I really don't get it. It's just comments like that happen all the time, and it's incredibly funny to me. My co-host on that podcast is also the in-house MC. and the old fans don't like him either because he introduces the curlers like a boxing match or like wrestling,
Right.
and they're like, it's too loud. Why does he do that? It's unprofessional.
Come on.
And it's like, God forbid we try to create an atmosphere in the arena. Like, it's just, they're so crazy. Anyways, Number 2, curling fans on Facebook. Shut the fuck up. You have no idea what you're talking about. Leave me alone. Okay, Dan, your number 1 enemy for 2025.
John, it's got to be sorry, there's a guy yelling outside. It's got to be the dumb fuck who flooded his apartment above me and then my apartment.
I forgot about that.
And ruined my life for like 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
God. That's
I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Was it? Is it finally fixed now?
I mean, yeah. There's still some things that I need to plane my bathroom door because now with the new floor it doesn't shut, which, as you can imagine, is a problem for me specifically. But
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah. I mean, I haven't really fully moved back in. I've still got shit just in boxes everywhere, but that's kind of just whatever.
Yeah, that was so crazy when they had to redo everything, and God.
Yeah, I basically had to move my entire apartment around 3 times in like a couple weeks.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
That is a
fun.
Classic enemy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you about when I ran into the guy in the elevator? Like not long after that happened?
No.
I was downstairs doing my laundry. I get into the elevator and he's already in there and he says to me, "What are you doing here?"
What?
Yeah, exactly. What? I live here, you dumb old fuck. I didn't say that. I just didn't say anything, and I got out of the elevator. But I really would have
liked. He thought that you didn't live in the building or something.
I guess so. He thought I didn't belong in the building. Is what I got from that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I really wanted to strangle him until his eyes popped out of his fucking head. But
great enemy. That is just a classic enemy.
Really good enemy.
But he's gonna die really soon, so it's like whatever. He might be dead by the time this episode rolls around next year.
Fair. Well, we'll keep tabs.
Yeah.
Stefan, your number 1 enemy for 2025.
Well, we have a repeat, John, because of course it is once again one of the worst to ever do it, Elon Musk.
Yes.
I mean, I said this before.
Also, my number 1 as well. So for the first time ever, it is a repeat winner. We've never had a repeat number 1.
He's that bad of a guy. It's like obvious. It was so obvious. There was no question who it was going to be. Like it was Dan's makes sense, I think. But like,
perfect.
It's just like I've never hated someone like this before in my life. He's just like he's so unfunny. He's I mean, that's the least of his. He's obviously like so bad in like every conceivable way.
I think he's really funny.
There's one funny thing he could do for sure. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I think if you got him on a call with me and some of the guys from the group chat for half an hour, and he wasn't allowed to leave, we could make some damage. We could make it happen. I think because I think he's so fragile. Obviously, given all the stuff that's happening right now, where the right wing psychos have like turned on him. It's just like I'm tired of hearing about him. I'm so tired of looking at him. He's ugly as fuck. He looks like a chimp ripped off his face. I hope that happens. I fucking detest him. He's just such a fucking piece of shit. He is so cringy. He's the fucking uncoolest, unfunniest guy to ever live. And I would love to go back in time and the kid who pushed him down the flight of stairs when he was younger, I would love to go back in time and be like, you gotta do it harder. You have to do it as hard as possible because it's not enough. In fact, I think this made things worse. I think you need to do this multiple times. Do it as many times as it takes. Okay. I hate him so fucking much, man. God.
Yeah, I mean, also underrated aspect brought us probably the worst clip of the year. Him talking about SNL with Jason Calacanis was maybe the worst 5 minutes of anything I watched this year.
Awful, just disgusting. Yeah.
What if I sexually assaulted the entire cast or sexually harassed the entire cast of SNL? Well, I thought that would have been pretty funny.
Oh
God.
Oh, what a pig.
What an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just the worst guy.
Yeah.
Number 1 with a bullet.
Yep.
So there you have it. Our 2025 enemies list is in the books. Thank you so much for listening. as we said, we will be back here occasionally throughout the year with some bonus content for free here on the main feed. But we will have 3 bonus episodes a month on our Patreon, patreon.com/blockparty. That is not going to stop. We also have those brand new shirts out to celebrate the end of the show at merch.blockparty.com. If you are a donor, you also get a discount on those shirts. So make sure to check out the Patreon, check out the merch page. Thank you again. Hope you have a very happy and wonderful new year, and may your enemies in 2025 be defeated. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you back here very soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.